everyone, my name is Julia. I'm a fantasy writer and illustrator. I'm from Spain. You can find my books on Amazon. They are all in Spanish for now, but maybe if you're a Spanish student, they could be a good practice because they have a simple vocabulary. But today I'm not here to talk about my books. My channel is about fantasy stories, about mythology, spirituality, symbolism in folk tales, fairy tales, fairies. I love magical beings. And I'm a huge fan of fantasy literature. I have a huge library with books of different times, both in English and Spanish. And today I'm going to share with you a very special book, a book which is a miracle. I have found it lately, and it's been amazing for me. It's a treasure. I haven't found any information about it on the internet, so I want to share it with everyone and let the world know about this fantasy book, which apparently was published back in 1949 and has been forgotten. So I'm going to tell the story of how I found the book. I was searching for images with Google, images of illustrations by the well-known artist Margaret Tarrant. If you are a fan of fantasy illustration of the first half of the 20th century, like I am, sure you know Margaret Tarrant. I love her illustrations of fairies. She even has some books about religious matters. Her illustrations are really sweet. I love them. You can find her on the web, on Google, on the net. And well, I was looking at these images of Margaret Tarrant when I suddenly saw an image of an illustration by her which I hadn't seen ever before. The illustration was this one. It was a cover of a book. The book was called Wigley. The author's name was Rosemary Barnes. I had never heard of her, but I fell in love with this image. I mean, there was an elf and a boy who were flying on magical leaves through the air, and it seemed so amazing for me. I wanted to know more about this book, so I tried to find something on the internet, but to my surprise there was no information at all about the author nor the book, no new editions of it, not even a year of publication, nothing. The only thing I could find was that you could buy it from second-hand or antique books shops. I tried to find a copy of this book because as I said, it really entranced me. So I found out that it was quite expensive, but I didn't give up. I tried to find a copy of it which I could afford, and finally I got to find a copy for £36. This copy was in South Africa. It was sold by antique books shop which is called First Chapter. So I decided that I definitely had to have this book because I think it was amazing just by the cover it looked like. But not only that, the only information I could find about the book was on a review on Amazon. Apparently someone had sold long ago a copy of it. And the review, I'm going to read it because it sounded so amazing for me that it definitely made me decide that I had to have this. The review's title is A Magical Book. It's a review. It was made in the United Kingdom on the 3rd of January 2012, and it's anonymous. It goes like this. I was given this book for Christmas 1950. 1952. I was 5 years old. My brother and I were entranced. Our father read us a chapter every night and we couldn't wait to get to bed to hear the next installment. It is a story about a lonely little boy who meets Wigley, a male fairy who is very old and getting a little crotchety at times. Wigley introduces John to his fairy tale world, and through the long summer holidays they have adventures together, moving through many of the old children's stories, traveling on the Flying Leaves taxi service. They meet the wizard, they meet pirates and find Captain Hook and just escape his clutches. They go to a dragon's wedding, meet mermaids and the king and queen of the fairies. As summer draws to a close, they have the last dance of summer and the fairies all fly south for the winter. It made a lasting impression on me. There is always an evening in late September when I look around and think, tonight will be the last dance of summer and the fairies will be gone again. Thank goodness I still have the book, battered but whole, as it is difficult to obtain. I am surprised it has not been reissued. I read it to my grandchildren. As an adult, I now realize it is sad. The fairy folk promise to see Young again next summer when they come back. But as an adult, I know the adventures were over forever, as the next summer John would have grown up and be too old to see them. Very sad ending, but I really loved this review and I definitely decided I had to get this book. So I contacted this bookshop in South Africa and bought the book. They were very quickly to send it to me and it arrived this month, and I even fell more in love with the book. The book is here. I got it, Wigley by Rosemary Barnes. I'm going to show it to you in detail because it has lots of beautiful illustrations. And I mean, a fairy book with pirates, with mermaids, with all of these adventures. It sounded amazing for me, so here's a treasure for my library. And I want everyone to know it because, as this anonymous person says in Amazon, I don't know why it hasn't been reissued, why there are no other copies apart from this one. There is no date on the book, but the bookshop from where I bought it tells me that it's from 1949. I cannot understand why there is no biography of this Rosemary Barnes. If you try to find about her, you will find other books about marriage. They are books of a psychologist who has the same name, but of course it's not the same person. And there is no other information on the internet about this Wigley. So please, if you have grandparents, please ask them if, when they were children, of course people who grew up back in the 1950s, if they know this book, if they know anything else about it, about the author, because it's a mystery. And there is no other video on YouTube about it, there are no other blogs, I couldn't find anything, and that is why I'm posting this. I recorded this video in Spanish, but of course this book is in English, so nobody who speaks Spanish will know the book. That is why I decided to upload the video also in English, to see if someone can tell me anything else about it. And because I want to make it known to the new generations, and I think it's a very special book, and we shouldn't forget about the work of this author. Well, I'm going to show it to you and I hope you like it. Well, this is the book, The Wonderful Wigley by Rosemary Barnes. This is Wigley, this is John, and of course the illustrations are by Margaret Tarrant. beautiful book, which is by now 72 years, it seems. This is the only page cut out of the book, but no worries on the other cover. It has the same illustrations, so we can take a look at them. Here there is the wizard, the fairy, the pirates, John, Wigley, the mermaids, the dragons. And so we're going to take a look. I hope you enjoy it because the illustrations are delightful. It has the name of one of the previous owners, Linda Joy Wayne. And here we go. This is the first encounter between John and Wigley. The contents. And let's see the beautiful pictures. I love the pencil strokes of Margaret Tarrant. They are so expressive. A voice from up the tree called "Tomorrow." A strange meeting. In the second chapter, Wigley takes John to get to know his little home up the tree, but he explains that this is his summer house because during the winter he goes to warmer countries to spend the winter. Of course, to go along with Wigley, who is very, very small, John has to taste some magic potion to be small too and be able to go with the male fairy. Several nearby daisies were up to his waist. "Here we are," said Wigley proudly. The little house was on top of the tree. I'm sure my friend Scott Fisher is going to really enjoy this video. I am completely sure. I wonder if you know this book. Gremlins. "Time for you to be going," he said. This is so charming. I mean, this is wonderful. I love it. I love this kind of books. Here they are meeting the wizard, who is the one who makes the potions. He had never seen a stream singing before. It's such a beautiful story with so much imagination and fantasy and magic. I don't understand why there are no other editions of this book. I simply don't understand. Why has it been forgotten? He showed him a spell that would change a table into a rabbit. Ooh. John carefully sprayed it on a rose. "Goodbye, wizard," they called. "Thank you for having us." The leaves circle round and round, lower and lower, until they touched the ground.
invisible mischief. Apparently, floating in mid-air across the room was a toy engine. Wigley picked up the receiver.
This is something I love about fairy tales from the 19th and 20th centuries. That pixies and fairies and goblins, they use phones and they go by bus, and it's something you can see in Enid Blyton's books too, and I love that. I love that because it makes magic and fantasy like a day-to-day thing, something you could find on your daily life, and I love it.
Wigley walked around the leaves 3 times.
I love those flying leaves, they look like little boats.
John and Wigley hurried down to the sea edge and climbed into the rowing boat. "Welcome aboard the Belle-Fleur. You do us great honor," he said.
So here we can see John dressing like a pirate, little pirate.
Wigley introduced Syringa to John.
Here John is meeting a beautiful fairy.
I love it. John laid about him with a large stick. Huddled in a corner was a fairy.
Some of them climbed the palm trees to get coconuts. And of course, the mermaids, here they are. These drawings are delightful. They're really, really delightful.
The home of the mermaids.
Everybody threw confetti at them and called good wishes after them. I love this. This is the wedding of 2 dragons, and each of the dragons has 2 heads. I love it.
"How do you do?" said the dragon, holding out a shining claw. The dragons gave rides to anyone who wanted them.
Oh, I would like a ride too.
The king and queen arrived.
I knew this illustration before I knew this book. It's on the internet, but I never knew it was from this story. The king and queen of the fairies.
Wigley gave John clothes exactly like his.
Well, it seems this is the last dance of the summer, and it says, "Here comes Goldilocks with the 3 bears."
They are surrounded by little pixies and fairies everywhere. Here they are, Goldilocks, the 3 bears. I love it. "Will you explain why it is raining?" the king was saying. The Dance of the Sunbeams. And we arrive to the end of the book. Made and printed in Great Britain by Gray Canes, Taylor Garnett Evans and Company Limited, Watford, Harris. And well, those are the illustrations. I hope you enjoyed them.
And well, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you liked knowing about this wonderful book. If you like fantasy stories like I do, I'm sure you must have loved this book. And well, if you would like me to read some chapters so that you can know more about the story, just leave a comment below, subscribe, and maybe if a lot of people are interested, I can make new videos in English about this book and other ones I have about fantasy stories, fairies, elves, mermaids and all this, which are my passion and that is something I investigate all the time. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you can tell me more about Wigley, and I hope to see you next time. Fairy hugs, fairy kisses, and a special fairy hug to my friend Scott Fisher in Canada and to my friend Craig Lewis in Wales. I'm sure that Scott is going to love hearing about this book, and I'm curious to know if he knows about it. Well, see you soon. Bye!
Hey, just a little update, but very, very important, and I'm so excited about it. I uploaded the Spanish version of this video, and a friend of mine contacted me with a lot of information about Rosemary Barnes, so definitely I will be able to make a video about this author in the future. So if you are curious about it, please subscribe to my channel, and I will try to do my best sharing this information with you. I'm so excited, so happy to have been able to find some information about this author. It's so special to me. It was a mystery, and now I know that these videos were useful because thanks to them, we will be able to rediscover Rosemary Barnes. Fairy hugs to you all, and see you on the next video.